Hi there, we are back. Just before break, we were talking about the outreach efforts of Camilla and her team. They do go out in the community to provide this information, and they would be glad to come to your church, your civic organization, your job, your place of business. Camilla?
Absolutely. I am the outreach director, so it is my job to make sure that the DC residents have that information. So I do a couple of different things. I do things like this, which is really cool when I'm invited to do.
Yes.
I also do outreach once a month at each of the district's wellness centers. There are 4 of those that are operational.
Right.
So I'm at each one of those centers once a month. You can actually call the center that's closest to you and ask when I will be there. I do presentations to groups. So I go to churches, mosques, synagogues, wherever, to do those. I do social worker presentations. I do presentations for caseworkers. I basically go everywhere that I'm invited to talk to people about Medicare, and sometimes I show up at places that I'm not invited, just to make sure that they have the information.
That sounds wonderful.
Because it's that important.
Yes, that sounds wonderful.
Absolutely.
And and I think the great thing, Camilla, is the fact that you enjoy what you do.
Yes.
And you like your job.
I like making sure that people are able to access the things that they're entitled to.
Exactly.
It's a lot of information. Medicare is very complex.
Yes, it is.
And I always tell people that you're never more popular than you are right before your 65th birthday.
Exactly.
Everyone starts mailing you things, and all of it looks really important, and there are a lot of red letters, and people usually do one of two things. Either they read everything and they get really paranoid and decide not to read anything else, or they chuck it all in the trash. And so we don't want that to happen. We want to make sure that if there's information to be accessed about your Medicare benefits, that you are able to do that, that you understand it, and that you're able to save money, basically, because we want to make sure that you're going to the doctor when appropriate, that you're taking prescriptions as they've been prescribed. We don't like people to be kitchen pharmacists.
Right.
And starting to make their own blends of medications unless you've been approved by a board of pharmacy to do that. We don't want you to do that.
Definitely.
We want you to actually take things that as they've been prescribed. So all the work that I do is designed to make sure that all of that can happen smoothly. And so I do enjoy that.
And I am just so excited about the outreach efforts of letting people know about Medicare in general. And you mentioned that you are never more popular than when you are getting ready to hit 65. And I remember a seminar that the Health Insurance Counseling Project put on a year or so ago, and I attended and learned a lot. And one thing I left there remembering and learning that I did not know was that you don't wait until your 65th birthday to apply for Medicare.
No.
Because you can be penalized. You must do it.
Well, there's what we call an initial enrollment period. And so when you are 3 months before your 65th birthday, the month of, and then 3 months after, so that's a 7-month total period, is what's called your initial enrollment period. And you have that time to first sign up for Medicare benefits. Now, most people will be automatically enrolled in Medicare Part A because that's what you pay for through your taxes.
Okay.
And so that enrollment is automatic. Enrollment in Part B, however, is not. You have to actively enroll yourself in Medicare Part B. And that happened during that 7-month period.
Okay.
Now, there are a few reasons why a person would not automatically have to do that, and that's if they continued to work and they had current employer insurance.
Okay.
But really, that's an entirely different topic.
Yeah.
And I don't want to start talking about it and get people confused. But it's a different set of information. But in any case, if you have questions about that, then you can always call our office and we can explain that a little bit further.
Okay. Well, once I have completed my application and I've submitted the application, then what happens? Do I get another Medicare card or what happens?
Okay, well, there are two things that can happen. Usually what we do is encourage people to send their application to our office. And we do that so that we can track it within our system.
Okay, great.
It is by law, they have 45 days to either approve you or deny you for the program. So you are supposed to hear a decision from them within 45 days. It usually only takes about 30 days. Now, what happens is after you've been approved for the program, you get a letter stating that you have been approved as a qualified Medicare beneficiary. And it will tell you that this letter is proof of that status.
Okay.
Shortly after that, you'll get a card. It's a white card and it has red lettering on it. And you take that card along with your red, white, and blue card to the doctor, to the pharmacy. And that's letting them know that you have this benefit and that you're no longer responsible for those co-payments. And at the pharmacy is letting them know that you are able to get your prescriptions at a discounted cost. And that cost for most people will be between $1.10 and $6.50, whether it's generic or name brand.
Fabulous.
It's a huge, huge savings.
Fabulous. So I'm telling you, listen, you guys, please call Camilla if you have any questions. And where do they go to get the application? Because, I mean, if I can pay up to $6, no more than $6 for a prescription, I would get my application in quick, fast, and in a hurry.
If I was eligible for it, I would too.
Really?
You can go to your local IMA center.
Okay. And IMA means?
The Income Maintenance Administration. You can go to your local center. I think the one that most people in the district are familiar with is the one on 8th Street.
645 8th Street, Northeast.
You can go to your local center. There are other ones, though. You can go to your local IMA center and ask for an application. Or you can call our office at 202-739-0668 and ask for an application, and we'll mail it right off to you.
Now, for those people who are computer savvy, can they go to a website and download it, print it out, and fill it out and send it to you?
I believe it is on the website. If you go to IMA, I believe you can find it, but I don't think it's right on the main page. Okay. I think you have to do a little bit of searching around. But if you are computer savvy, I'm sure that you can find it to do it that way. But
you could.
It takes a little digging to do it that way.
Or maybe do a Google search for Medicare savings program application.
Lord Google knows all. You could definitely try to do that.
Or just go on down to 645.
Or you can do that. Or
get
you
that
can
old
call
hard
our
copy.
office and get a copy mailed to you. Yes.
Oh, that is wonderful. Doesn't that sound good, y'all? I'm telling you, that's just wonderful. And I will start letting people know as I am out doing assessments for waiver too. And we'll take some applications along with me.
And also, it's one of those things that if you know good news, then it's good to share with other people.
Indeed.
So if you're watching, and even if the program is not something that you're eligible for, if you know someone who you think is eligible for the program, then this is information that is free to be shared and that should be shared with other people. If you are enrolled in the program and you know the benefits and you've saved lots of money, then you definitely should let other people know, because sometimes word of mouth is the best way to get this information across. Because it comes across a little bit differently if I'm telling you about the program and how great it is. So a lot of people sometimes are a teensy bit distrustful because it does sound too good to be true.
Of course.
But if it's coming from a neighbor, or if it's coming from a church member or a friend or someone you trust who tells you, like, listen, I am in this program and it's saving me a lot of money each year, then that might be the best way. But whatever way it takes you to get the information, as long as you get it, then that's what's important.
I agree. And that is, I am just so glad to have you on today as a guest, because that is the premise behind this show, the Case Manager Show. I am a social worker trying my best to empower the people in the District of Columbia. There's an old saying that knowledge is power, and it really is. If you have the knowledge about some of these programs, and I say all the time in terms of living in the District of Columbia, I love living in the District of Columbia, and we have some wonderful benefits. And,
Absolutely.
And so, my platform is to get the information out there to people, and have more guests on like you, Camilla, to bring this information, to drive this information out to the community. And I just think it's awesome.
It is a wonderful benefit. We do not have congressional representation, but we have an awesome Medicare savings program. Like I said in the previous segment, each state has its own version of this program. In the district, really, the income is a lot higher than it is in right across the border in Virginia and Maryland. So it is one of the instances where it pays to be a D.C. resident.
It really does pay to be a district resident. Our housing we are working on, but
this you can access. It is not a complicated program, and it basically is a win-win. Like I said before, there are only 3 qualifications. The first is that you be eligible for Medicare. For most people, that just means that you're 65 years or older. The second is that you are a bona fide D.C. resident. And the third is an income guideline. And once again, for a single person, that income per month is $2,743. And if you're part of a couple, that income per month is $3,698. And that's it. Those are the only qualifications. There is no limit on the amount of money that you can have in savings. They don't take into account any property that you own. It's just those things.
This again is just absolutely phenomenal. Now, I'm glad that you mentioned the fact that you go and do presentations monthly at the senior wellness centers.
Yes.
Because that's another platform of this show, and my social worker goals this year is to have the community fully aware of what's in their areas to service them. And in the District of Columbia, in each ward, there is an agency in what the Office on Aging calls the Senior Service Network.
Right.
Each ward has an agency, whether it's Barney Senior Services or Seabury Resources or any of these other agencies, Iona, for the different wards. That's where you can reach out to them, and they will then help you to navigate the community resources. A lot of times I get referrals for people who need Medicaid waiver services or home health services from their senior service network. So I'm glad that you are out there in those senior wellness centers, because you are getting the information, you are taking it directly to the residents.
Absolutely. And that does a couple of things. One is it allows people a chance to ask questions in a one-on-one counseling session.
Yes.
Because a lot of people aren't comfortable with asking questions in public.
Sure.
Or they don't want to answer questions over the phone. They like to see someone in person.
Sure.
And so that can be arranged. If a person is homebound and can't get out, then they can call our office and make an appointment for one of our counselors to come there. So there are tons of ways to get information. You can call, you can come in person, you can watch your show and get it there.
Absolutely.
We just want to bombard you with information in the best way possible.
Exactly.
To make sure that you have it, so that if you need it, you can access it.
Exactly.
And I just want to say once again that this program is a tremendous, tremendous benefit. And if you think that you're eligible for it, if you have questions about it, even if you think that you may be a little bit over the income limit, or you're not really sure how to calculate your income, all of these are things that we can help you do. And so I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm just going to repeat the number one more time, and then I will turn it over to you again. So that number is 202-739-0668.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Love you, and see you next time. Bye-bye now.